I should do the Carl style or LeBron style where you like hold it like this. I ain't got that much status. Game. What's going on? Questions? I can't pull the cultural reset off this year, can I? How you know? It's going good. Going good.
Masai, you've had, I guess, nearly 48 hours to think about what happened, and what's your first reaction to that? And what decisions, if any, what happens in the playoffs in the season make you cause you to make regarding your coach or your roster, your rotation, your core?
Eric, it's good. First of all, I really commend the team. And whether it's our team, players, coaching staff, front office, everybody, I think for a great season. We are absolutely disappointed with the ending of the season. But in terms of evaluating, it's kind of the same thing I say every year is we're going through that process now. You know, it takes the front office, it takes all of us time to gather information, talk to each other, have debriefs, have meetings, have watch more film, have exit interviews, talk to our players. We're going to go through the same old process, you know, like that. I know, I'm sorry it bores you guys, you know, like, but it's the same thing over again. And just right now, everybody still feels, I think, hurt a little bit and disappointed. I have had some exit meetings with the young players, but generally it's just looking at things, how we are evaluating our performance, especially in the playoffs. I think with the regular season there was good success, but going from last year to this year, I think we're happy with the jump we made. With some of the things we said we wanted to do. We got stuck at a certain point, and we'll just continue to evaluate.
What did you think was the kind of central part of the failure in the series against Cleveland?
There are many things, Bruce. That I think when you look at. I think people will say running into a player that good, you know, do you weigh that in when you look at, I think our team, you know, like generally, what happened. I personally think, if just looking at it from a short 48 hours, I go back to game one, to be honest, you know, like, and what turned things there, you know, like giving up a lead or the calls, you know, like the missing layups, all those things, you know, like the margin of error in the NBA is like this small, you know, like, and I know how confident we came into the first game. Not just from us, not just from our fans, not just from the players, even from you guys. You know, like everybody felt good about it. Even after that game, everybody felt good about, you know, like, okay, why did we give that game away? But for me, when you play in the playoffs, the margin of error is this small, and there are those turning points. And game one for us was like that. You know, we missed so many layups, missed bunnies that could win the game. We don't blame anybody. We all lose together. But for me, when I look back at it, I say that this was the turning point with that series. And for some reason, we just kind of lost something there.
You mentioned the confidence that you still felt after game one. Mm-hmm. After game four, Jonas Valanciunas spoke about it not being a basketball or physical issue, about it being a mental hurdle as much as anything. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that? Do you see that?
You know, to some extent, I think that comes with experience. We're still the second youngest team in the playoffs. You know, like we still have a young team in some kind of way. We can't use that as an excuse, but that's something you build off of time, you know, and off of experience. I think too. You know, like you work on it in ways that you can in terms of coaching the mental aspect. I think our guys are tough enough. We've gone through tough series. We've gone through tough times in this organization. And they fought through it, you know, like, but to win big in this league, I think you just have to go through different stages, and I have to study it more, Eric, to answer your question even better. But it's part of what we will study. But looking at it, I just think you build that with from experience. I think that comes with playing in the playoffs a lot and getting series under your belt and growing as a team. And sometimes that was a question for us, you know, like sometimes we got pushed, sometimes we got shoved, and how did we get back from it, you know, like, did we get back from it after game one, you know? I think maybe there's a question there.
Do you think then if you had won game one, with the group you had, you could have competed in that series?
I wouldn't be answering the question here because we would be playing today. Yeah, we would be playing today. That's the bottom line. I think it's today, right? Yeah, we would be playing too. It'd be a different story, you know, like, because confidence helps you. There was a level of that game that was a shock, and I hate to criticize anything, you know, like, but I tell you, the margin of error is this small, you know, like, I'm not one to give any excuses anywhere, but we're in a business of wins and losses. That's the honest truth. And I don't know how many people feel it as much as these guys feel it. I don't know what other jobs are like this, where it's all comes down to wins and losses. If a flagrant foul is called and looked at, you know, like, does it go a different way? I don't know. I know one thing: we deserved. We have come to a point in this league that we deserved for us to go look at that play. So that's that might not be the reason, you know, like, we missed 100 layups, we had 400 turnovers, but all I'm saying is, you know, like, the margin of error is this small. And that's the playoffs. Everybody is staring at you in the face, and you're staring at one team 7 times in a row or 4 times in a row or every day, you know, like, but we believe in what we're doing here. Honestly, we believe in the growth. If we go back, you know, like, to when it was a point where we're trying to make the playoffs, and now we're in there and we're trying to succeed in the playoffs. Maybe it's the stage that we're going to go through, because you know what? People can make fun of everything they want on the internet, make fun of, you know, like, the team, make fun of getting beat and all that stuff. Hey, there's only one team. One team in the NBA is going to win the NBA championships, and 29 teams are going to be not winners. And 29 teams are going to be disappointed, and we're one of them. So we have to go back and sit back and see exactly like what we have to do to get back. But it's never, to me, it's not doomsday. Where our program is not doomsday, because if people are talking about us, that means some way, somehow we're relevant now in the NBA. And when you get relevant, now you have to meet the challenges every day of expectations and growing and getting bigger and winning. And that's what we're going to try and do. Whatever the things that we have to do to get there, we're going to collectively evaluate, you know, like, so, yeah, everybody can question Casey all they want. You can question Kyle all you want. You can question DeMar DeRozan all you want. Guess what? I have to look at a body of work. As a leader, I have to look at the body of work that has been done over the last 5 years and think, what's the last 5 years and what's the next 5 years ahead. And that's what I have to do. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, there are weaknesses, and yes, there are strengths. Guess what? Not everybody has them, you know, like, and we have to figure out a way. I say it again, there's only going to be one champion here. So everybody else is going to be, like, disappointed. Yeah, and we are disappointed right now.
What does it
say about your team aside that they couldn't respond adequately after losing that game one in that fashion?
That happens in the playoffs, you know. Like we had the same thing. I remember speaking to you actually, and you said the team responded well after losing to Washington, and our backs were against the wall a little bit. I remember that conversation very well, you know, like, and it was a good response for us. It's difficult to measure, you know, like we have to go back and I have to go back and study that to see, you know, like why was it, you know, like that after game one, we kind of went backwards a little bit, and then game three, we came back strong. I think we played well and we played tough, and we lost against an unbelievable shot that was made. So those are the questions we are asking ourselves, you know, like now, and evaluating with everybody.
At this point, you're thinking, what is the future of Wayne Casey in this organization? Do you have confidence in him going forward?
Coach Casey has been unbelievable for our organization, you know, like, and I treat it the same exact way, you know, that we have done every year, you know, like including years that we've done well, you know, like is to go back and look at everything. I've had discussions with Casey, same exact way that I've had discussions with him last year, 2 years ago. I met with Casey for 2 hours this morning. Same thing, I'm meeting with him, you know, like staff, everything, going to go through every single thing that we go through is just a routine. It's my responsibility as a leader to do that, and we'll go from there. But I'm telling you, what these guys have done will remain in history, like in this organization. There's no question about it, you know, like, and I think we have to respect that. Forget the noise, forget all the, you know, like what everybody says, you know, like it's incredible where we've come in the last 5 years, and that's not a pat on our backs. It is to say that we go through stages in winning. You go through stages in organizations, and maybe you are going through a stage. You know, like I believe in this. I believe in the city. For me, yeah, when people talk about all these great players, they come and go. Like Coach said, Kobe came and went. You know, like Jordan went. Hey, will come and go. Casey will come and go. I will come and go. Kyle Lowry will come and go. Toronto is not going anywhere. Toronto basketball will be here for 100 years, and it will stay here. And so anybody that wants to make fun or poke fun, we're proud of the moments that we've had, and we're proud of what's going to come after this. Really proud of what's going to come after this.
Masai, the history in the NBA is it's very rare to win a championship without a true superstar player, and LeBron is obviously an example of that. Are your stars good enough after this series, after seeing what happened against him again, to win a championship, regardless of what you do the last year?
Again, it's not the same questions that I was getting, you know, like right after the season or after the series against Washington, you know, like it's totally like different, you know, like it was like, okay, this guy, maybe these guys have arrived, you know, like, or maybe, and I come back to that margin of error. I come back to, you know, we have to go through all these guys to win, those great players, and we have to find great players too. I think I give our staff credit, you know, like in finding young players, where, you know what, if they want us to break this thing up and start over, and what's the famous word they use? I don't know if we get fined for using the word, where it's tanking, you know, like, no, you know, like we're not doing that here. We're finding young players, we're going to grow, we're going to win, and that's what we want to do here. And if we're going to, however way we can develop our players, whether current players or players that are to come to become that level of winning or that level of superstar, we would do it, you know, like, and these players will reach a certain level. Look, what these guys have done with their careers, you know, like, I wish I can get the same question that anybody asked us, you know, like, and that's a pat on the back to Kyle, to DeMar, to Casey, to what they've done here and how they continue to grow every year. All-star, record wins, they try, they go, they give their best, and I think they prove people wrong in some kind of way. It's not that every time every organization is going to have that generational player, That comes with luck, that comes with strategy, that comes with planning, that comes with winning, that comes with many things, and I believe that we have that structure, we've created that culture here, that we can get there at some point.
Masai, you've spoken very positively about Dwayne. Are you willing to say anything definitive about his status moving forward?
I've said what I have to say about that. I told you we're evaluating everything, and that's how I'm going to leave it.
Masai, though, at this time last year, you did commit to Dwayne forward in the same situation.
Yes.
Using that word. So this time you're not willing to do that.
At this time, I said we're going to evaluate everything. That's the word I used. I said we're going to evaluate everything, and we're going to. I believe in Dwayne Casey. I believe in the work that he's done. So it's not different from anything I didn't say that I said last year. I'm not. Trust me. I'm looking at everything, negative and positive. I looked at it that way last year, negative and positive, and how it all comes together. I'm all about bringing everything together, and factoring that means winning. How do we win? To me, this organization should be all about winning and how we build winning. Go through the whole process, whether it's talking to our ownership, whether it's talking to Casey and his staff, whether it's talking to front office, whether it's talking to players. I don't know that we can do anything 24 hours later. These are things that we really have to evaluate.
What's the obvious area or avenue, I guess, to improvement for this roster in your mind?
There are many ways, I think there are very many ways. Some are growth, if I remember, the first thing that everybody was complaining about or talking about last year was our bench. Man, how are you going to survive in the NBA with those young guys? They developed, so something is going to come up, and some progress will be made over the summer, somewhere or the other. Is it trades? Is it inner development? Is it coming from playing together? Even more? Is it coming from players making a jump from the positions that they are to being more prominent? We don't know. I think these things have to come with time, so I think there are many ways to get better. We're not going to handcuff ourselves in any way, but the one thing I know is we're a strong team now. We're together now, and now it's my job. It's on me. Put it on me. Forget all the other stuff that you guys are talking about. Put it on me. We'll get better. We will get better here. We'll believe in this city, this country, this team here, and move forward. I put it on myself. The most difficult time for me is watching the playoffs. I think people in our position, it's just difficult to watch it. Because you're helpless. You know what? Now I can smile. Now I can be nice to my wife. Now I can, it's now is the time, that I can work. Our front office can work. We can be, I think we can be, we can do our jobs now. So I'm always nice to my wife, by the way.
Masai, just like players, just like coaches, not everything they do is perfect. A couple moves you made this year, probably worth some questions. Serge Ibaka being signed, obviously struggled in the playoffs. Norm, his extension kicks in next year, and he struggled to be part of your rotation this year. Does that affect any of your thinking going forward? And how do you evaluate that?
No, nothing at all. I think I can't look at them as mistakes or things that will set us back. I think I look at it more positive that we had players, that could make up for that. At the end of the day, Serge Ibaka contributed to a 59-win team. And there are parts of the playoffs where he struggled and parts of the playoffs where he played well. He's a prideful guy, and I know he's going to go back and work on the things that he didn't do so well. I know that we implemented a new system. With some players, it's easy because we had 59 wins. Sometimes it looks, like brushed under the carpet. But there are some players that takes time for them to, develop in this kind of system, and some players don't. Maybe Norm has had great success with us. He was part of a big time with our team, and I feel met with Norm, and he will bounce back. He's got the mind, he's got the he was caught in like the bench mob and the starters, OG being moved into the starters. It was a difficult time because I think Norm did everything, like to fight his way back, but the time wasn't there just because of the development of OG and him being slotted into the starting lineup and keeping the bench mob together. I think that's an easy explanation for him, but we value him the same way, and wings are everybody's looking for wings in the NBA, and he's somewhat of a two-way player that we feel very strongly about.
So obviously you're looking at, you're evaluating your own team, but does the way the Eastern Conference playoffs play out now have any bearing on your evaluation of where the Raptors fit in the Eastern Conference right now, and whether or not you indeed just might have got beat by the team that might go on to win the East?
Yeah, as I said, there's going to be teams that are disappointed and teams that and it's where you fall in the level of your disappointment, because there's 29 teams that won't win. I'm not. Honestly, like when I evaluate my team, I don't look at anybody else, and you have to be the best, you have to beat the best, like in this league. So it doesn't matter. Teams are going to get better, and some teams will fall back. I'm fighting for my team not to ever fall a level, and keep fighting to grow and become bigger, So when I look at the Eastern Conference, you have to, there are going to be those teams that are going to grow, that are going to step up, that are going to compete at a high level, and the East will get better. We always say it, you want your conference to be strong. You want to compete against the best, and but I don't go back and look at, worry about what other teams are doing. We can't control that. I can only control what our team is doing.